And like anything in pregnancy, it could either be good or it can either be bad. You can either be pregnant or you can either be not. You know what I mean? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to share with you my pregnancy symptoms week 3 to 6. Okay, so number 1 symptom that started at 7 DPO and it continues on, the main symptom of this pregnancy for me is sore breasts and heavy breast. So the weird thing was in the cycle that I've noticed right away is that my breast kind of gets sensitive pretty much right after ovulation, maybe 3 DPO, 4 DPO, but this time around it was later. It started at 7 DPO, which probably doesn't mean anything, but I've just noticed it was a little bit different than my usual cycles. And it also was stronger than usual. It was heavier and more sensitive. And actually by around week 5 or 6, I actually had to purchase a new bra. And I got one of those wireless, is that what it's called? Kind of like a sports bra, but it hooks in the back, so you don't have to like pull it over your head, and it's a lot more comfortable. Because I have the ones that you have to pull over, and it was comfortable up until I had to put it on or take it off, of course. I'm very happy about it, about this purchase. It has been a game changer. Number 2, the second main hero in my pregnancy is fatigue, of course. The tiredness is crazy. I mean, to me, it's kind of hard to tell because I'm a natural napper. I take a lot of naps anyway. If I wake up early in the morning, I always have to take a nap in the afternoon. So in the beginning, I thought it was normal. I was tired and I was taking naps, pretty much like usual. But then I had to take a nap every day. I think what gave it away for me the most is that after I took a nap, I also had to go to sleep earlier. I mean, I didn't necessarily go to sleep earlier, but I wanted to go to sleep earlier. I was exhausted by like 10 p.m. or something, or even 8 p.m. sometimes. Also in the beginning, the tiredness would come very sudden. One time I lay down on the floor to pet my cat and I fell asleep for legit 30 minutes. With no pillow, no blanket, nothing, just fell asleep. Number 3, thirstiness. It is also a pretty common symptom in early pregnancy, and I'm thirsty all the time, which is good. Water is good for you in normal life anyway, and in pregnancy it's especially important, and it's amazing how our body tells us what we need. So I'm like thirsty all the time. I have to drink. Even if I don't drink water for like 20 minutes, I feel the thirst. I feel the dryness in my mouth. Even talking about water just made me thirsty. Those 3 symptoms are the most constant. The rest kind of came and went. Along with thirstiness, I had the hunger, if you can call that a symptom. So what I mean is I would get hungry faster. For example, when I would wake up before I was pregnant, I would drink my water, then I would have coffee, and then till about 11 or 12 p.m. I could be fine. I wasn't too hungry because coffee and milk would make my stomach full. But with this pregnancy, I've noticed even when I drink my coffee, I would get hungry almost right away. So if I had my coffee at 7, I would be extremely hungry at 9 a.m. You know what I mean? And that continued throughout the day. I would have to get more frequent meals, and if I didn't, I mean, it's an uncomfortable feeling when you're hungry, but also I would get almost like nausea feeling, but not. Nausea is not one of my symptoms, and I'm so thankful. But if I didn't eat, I would almost get like this feeling that I'm about to be sick, you know? It's hard to explain. And I would literally have no strength in my body if I didn't eat. Like my arms would feel weak. It's so weird. But again, it's cool that our body tells us what we need. The way God designed women in pregnancy, it's so fascinating. So more on the topic of food, I kind of had food aversions, but it wasn't something like I couldn't eat it and it seemed gross to me. Like I'm like, ew. No, I could still eat everything. It was fine, but it didn't seem good to me anymore. Like I didn't crave it anymore like I did before the pregnancy. Two really good examples of that is coffee. And I'm a coffee fanatic when it comes to just regular me. I would drink it every day. I would crave it every day. And now I just don't. It just doesn't feel good. Every morning when I try to imagine like it being in my body with the milk, it didn't seem good to me at all. So I tried to stop, and that gave me another symptoms. Because I think I'm addicted to coffee, I had headaches when I tried to stop. So I had to substitute coffee for black tea with sugar for now. That actually worked, and tea actually seemed a lot better to me, and I'm excited to experiment on some other teas. Tea is actually very big in my culture. In Russia, everyone drinks tea. It's like the thing to do when you hang out together, when you go to each other's homes, you drink tea. So I feel more Russian now because I switched to tea. Another thing I stopped craving was sweets, and I love sweets. I love everything sweet. I don't know how I'm not like 200 pounds yet, but if I could, I would eat everything cake and baked goods. But now I actually don't feel like eating sweets anymore. I still do. We bought this amazing cupcakes at Whole Foods, which were delicious, but the last cupcake, I just finished it today. It was waiting in the fridge for me for like 3 or 4 days because I just didn't want it that much. What I've been craving is the opposite of sweets, of course, the salty things. My husband and I went to the store to get something salty, and we took this picture. We didn't get the huge jar, but we still got like a nice size pickles and also stuffed olives. And that was so good. If you were pregnant, or if you are pregnant right now, let me know in the comments below. Are you the one who craves sweets, or are you the one who craves salty? Another thing that happened was at 4 weeks, I had stretching, sore feeling in my abdomen or uterus area, which is normal because the uterus is growing and sometimes you feel the little stretches. And it kind of feels like I just worked out and my muscle in the very lower abs area were kind of sore a little bit. So I would feel it if I got up or anytime I would use those muscles, you know. But what worried me was I had pain in the right ovary area, and it was pretty sharp pain and it was sudden, and it would happen when I turned at night. So I would feel it turning, or once it happened when I would stand up from the chair, and it was pretty sharp. And at that point I was so nervous that it could be ectopic pregnancy, but it was all good. I think it was just part of the stretching and everything is changing. So if that happens to you, don't freak out like I did. Another thing that happened was spotting at week 5. But it lasted only for 4 days, and it was literally like a tiny bit of blood. I was just hoping it wouldn't get stronger, and thank God it did not. It was gone after 4 days, and it was nothing after that. And the last thing, it's not a symptom, blood test at 5 weeks and 6 days, so almost 6 weeks. And my progesterone level was great. It was 23. Which was somewhere in the middle, and my HCG level was kind of high. So basically I was 6 weeks pregnant and my HCG level was 64,000 something. I'll put it right here. And like anything in pregnancy, it could mean good or bad. Like anything in infertility, and when you try to get pregnant, it could either be good or it can either be bad. You can either be pregnant or you can either be not. You know what I mean? So high HCG, it can either mean that it's a good, strong singleton, just somehow just a little bit higher level of HCG. Probably that happens, nothing bad about it. It could also be multiples, which is my ultimate dream, to have twins. At around week 4 or 5, I even had dreams that I had 6 boys that were identical. Crazy. And then I had another dream I was pregnant with twins. Or, as Google stated, higher HCG could be not a good sign. For example, molar pregnancy. It's the type of pregnancy that, if I'm remembering right now, the pregnancy occurs, the implantation does, but there's no baby inside. Because the sperm or the egg didn't have some information needed. So basically, pregnancy continues, HCG levels are growing, you have symptoms, but there's no baby inside. Instead, there's this mass that can even turn cancerous. That was really scary when I was reading it, and you basically have to do D&C, and high HCG is one of the symptoms for it, along with the pain and I think bleeding, which I didn't have the other two, so I was kind of not freaking out about that too much, but it was still in the back of my mind. And another bad thing about high HCG could be is that there's a chance of having a baby with Down syndrome, which again, that's what Google says. It could not be it. It could be it. You never know until the baby is actually born or until you do the genetic testing, which is also not super accurate. To me personally, if God decides to give me a baby with some kind of sickness, maybe with Down syndrome, that means he would think that I could handle it, and my husband and we as a family could handle it, and that is okay with me. And I know it would be incredible hard, but I'd rather have this baby alive than not have it at all. So like always, everything in God's hands, and I try to trust him every single step of this pregnancy. And I know it could go wrong at any stage of it, not even in the first trimester. Something wrong can happen later on or even up to birth. But I know that God is keeping everything under control in his hands, and I'm trying to celebrate the stage that I'm on and take this victory. Hi guys, so my camera actually overheated and just turned off, and I was busy ever since then, so this is actually a couple days later. But what I was trying to say, I think, is that I'm trying to get the wins that God gives me with every day and every stage of this pregnancy that I can get. I'm trying to focus on the positives, what God is giving me, instead of what could happen and what can go wrong. So with that said, I just wanted to say thank you for watching this, and I'll see you guys soon.